The Memphis Grizzlies, once again to start the season, is sitting towards the top of the Western Conference. They currently hold the #1 seed, have won their previous 7 games, and in their most recent victory over the Milwaukee Bucks, they made one of the most impressive statement games I've seen in a while, winning the game by 40 points in dominant fashion on night. Easily, you can attribute most of this success to Ja Morant and him playing like a top 10 player this season, or talk about Taylor Jenkins and the deep bench, but the person who's really been the hero for the Grizzlies for the past month has been Jaren Jackson Jr. After returning from a stress fracture in his right foot, it looks like Jaren has picked up right back where he left off last season in defense. Before Jaren Jackson's return, the Memphis Grizzlies had a 112.4 defensive rating that had them in the 20th in the league. But ever since Jaren Jackson Jr.'s return, they're sitting at a staggering 106.8 defensive rating that would have them firmly sitting at the second spot. Jaren Jackson Jr. is the anchor defensively for the Grizzlies, and the things that he provides on that end are nothing short of amazing. And of course, it starts with his shot blocking ability. His timing on weak side situations or when he's serving as the primary rim protector is all time great, making those quick decisions and rotations to reject shots at the rim using that ridiculous 7'5" wingspan. Last year, Jaren led the league in blocks, and even after missing about a month of this season, Jaren is top 10 in blocks despite playing at least 12 games less than everybody else that's in the top 10, which is just remarkable. The length and quickness he uses to cover ground is a part of the reason why he's so good as a roamer, because making those possessions where his teammates can get beat off the dribble frequently, he can make the results at the end of the day not matter because of how much ground he can cover. Jaren is matched up with PJ Tucker in the corner, and Embiid gets the ball after screening and attacks Steven Adams. Now Jaren slides over, and look where Jaren's at when Embiid is attempting his shot, and somehow still gets a piece on the ball and forces the miss. Ant is getting trapped on this one on the left wing, and Jaren is serving as the backline defender. After Kyle Anderson swings it to the corner, look how much ground Jaren covers, and he uses his length to block this 3-point chance. Again, Jaren is operating on the weak side, and as Jaden Ivey attacks and then takes airborne, look how Jaren uses his length and not his body to try to avoid a foul, and he rejects the ball from the rim. Currently, Jaren is averaging a career low in personal fouls, which if you've been seriously watching Jaren for the past few years, has been a serious problem for him since he would have trouble staying on the floor by committing too many fouls, which would just hurt his value a bit, because if he isn't able to stay on the floor for extended minutes at a time without being in foul trouble, that can be a very bad nuisance to have on your team. So it's nice to see that he's got better at just not fouling. Also, Jaren is very adept as a pick and roll defender, pretty much can play any coverage you want him to. He's better served than dropped though in my opinion, because of how he's able to take away pocket passes or lob passes to the roller while still keeping the screener in front of him, and even still making sure 9 out of 10 times if the ball handler decides to take it all the way with him, he's still providing really good deterrence in the paint. Giddey does a pick and roll with Williams, and Jaren plays up a little higher on the drop but keeps backpedaling as Giddey comes down. Jaren does a great job at eliminating any passes to the roller, which results in Giddey taking this weird looking shot that results in an emphatic Jaren Jackson block. Look how Killian Hayes rejects the screen and attacks downhill. Even after it looks like he has an angle on Jaren, he still meets the ball at the apex to send this ball out of bounds. Jaren plays at the level here to prevent any pull-up jumper from Holiday and stays with him to prevent any quality shot. After the pass to Kaminsky, he shifts his attention to him. Kaminsky tries to fake, but Jaren doesn't bite and gets the block at the rim. Now, don't let this make you think he's only good in drop. Jaren is capable of playing closer to the level or at times just straight up switching. He has great mobility and good enough quickness and foot speed to be able to hold his own on the perimeter. Even with many ball handlers having great quick first steps and change of directions, Jaren being that huge and wide still is able to cover the ground even with them being much quicker than him. Jaren is able to close out hard on perimeter shooters, stall off cutters, be a deterrent in the interior, and is in great in pick and roll coverages. Pretty much, Jaren is all over the place defensively and checks all the boxes you can think of. He is legitimately a defensive superstar in whatever metric you would like to use. He's anchoring this Memphis Grizzlies defensively, and yet somehow you can make a good argument that this hasn't been his biggest improvement this year. Him becoming a more potent offensive player led to this uptake in his game. It's no secret that Jaren's offensive production has been pretty inconsistent for the past few years, but it looks like he finally is putting all of the necessary tools together to make him a bit more consistent. He's shooting 37.5% from deep, which would rank as the second best mark in his career so far. Jaren, despite his frame, serves as a stretch big for the Grizzlies, spotting up most of the times to shoot his jumpers and provide that spacing. He has very quick release, shooting the ball basically in 0.2 seconds, making it hard for defenders to contest him, especially since he's already 6'11". You're rarely going to see defenders actually provide solid contests on his jump shots. And although his finishing still isn't the greatest, he's made some strides in that area as well. 37% of Jaren Jackson shots are coming at the rim, which would mark as the highest he's had since his rookie year. Jaren is really good off ball, especially on his cuts, usually coming from when he's flashing in the top of the restricted area or whenever he's cutting back door. He just has a great feel on when and where he should cut, rarely ever cut into space on the floor that would end up overloading one side and making it tougher on the ball handler. He's also using his ball handle plus his size to get to the paint more and create his own shots off the dribble more, and forcing defenses to foul him more on his drives. He's averaging 4.8 fouls a game, which would be a career high, and although his free throw percentage took a bit of a dip in comparison to the last two seasons, he's knocking them down at a 75% clip, and that's a premium in the NBA for a big. If Jaren can keep up being a legitimate threat in the paint, this is only going to bolster this team's offense and his overall game, because if his shot profile keeps becoming more diverse, it's going to help him out in the long run, since teams will now have to scheme more for his threat of driving instead of just worrying about the danger he poses as a three-point shooter. Now, how sustainable is his offensive output right now? I truly am 50-50 with it, but if I had to side more on one side, I would say this is probably closer to the Jaren Jackson Jr. we will be getting for the rest of this season. Again, as I stated earlier, Jaren has been for the most part a very inconsistent offensive player in his career. You can blame some of that on injuries he keeps sustaining or how he can be very redundant in his play style. No matter how you slice it, it is the truth. However, if Jaren Jackson Jr. can maintain this level of offensive output and then pair that up with his stellar defense, I don't see how you're going to be able to take his name off the All-Star voting despite missing the early part of the season. In my opinion, this is the best version of Jaren Jackson we've ever seen. It's still early, he's only played in 12 games, but the improvements are there in the film and what Jaren Jackson Jr. provides on both sides of the floor. To keep it frank, not too many players in the NBA currently is giving me the impact Jaren Jackson Jr. is giving me, and his complete game is nearing completion. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button since it helps my video perform well on the algorithm. Hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell to always be notified whenever I upload a video, and feel free to let me know in the comment section below if you guys believe Jaren Jackson is going to make the All-Star team and the all-defensive team this season. And real quick, when this video was recorded, I'm currently sitting at exactly 900 subscribers, and I want to thank all of you guys for hitting that subscribe button and supporting me throughout this journey. And if any of you who are watching is subscribed, it would be greatly appreciated if you did, since the road to 1,000 subscribers is right upon us. And with that all being said, I hope all of you guys have a blessed day.